Get out of my house, or I'll call the cops. My sister screamed at her engagement party after my little one accidentally knocked over her $2,400 cake. My nephew clapped. Then Mom stared at my son and said, "You're not really ours. Ask your father about." I cut her off and said, "We're done here." And we left. 3 hours later, the police showed up. But they weren't there for me. They were there for my father. I'm Josen, 34, taxi dispatcher on the night shift, father to a 6-year-old who thinks every traffic light is a tiny robot doing its best. I live in a second-floor apartment that smells like coffee by 5 a.m. because I brew before bed like a weirdo. It keeps me honest. It keeps me awake. I'm the oldest kid, the ride, the fixer, the one with the spare cash, just for now. That's the role anyway. Mom says I've always been steady like a bus. Dad says I'm good with phones. Translation: when something breaks in our family, I pick it up. Saturday night, blue suit off the rack, thrifted tie my son picked because of the little stars. We walk into my sister's engagement party holding a paper bag with spare wipes, snacks, and a Hot Wheels car. The venue is all white linens and fake peonies. The DJ asks for our last name 3 times and still misspells it. Jules, my sister, hits me with a hug that lands like a push. "Don't lose him," she whispers. "Eyes on my kid. That cake is $1,200 a tier. It's on a table, not a cliff." I smile. She doesn't. Mom lifts her champagne. "Josen, smile. You look like you parked an ambulance." She's already flushed. Dad's already networking with her fiancé's uncle about fleet logistics because I dispatch cabs. Therefore, I am now an expert in anything with wheels. Theo tugs my sleeve. "Bathroom." His whisper is an alarm bell. We sprint. We survive. We wash hands. We high-five the airdryer. On the way back, he toddles sideways to show me a dance move. And his little sneaker bumps the cake table leg. It isn't wild. It isn't a kick. It's a kid. The cake lists like a boat. The top tier slides. The room gasps. I lunge, but frosting baptizes the floor first. A sugar rose launches heroically into the shrimp tower. "Get out of my house, or I'll call the cops." Jules screams. It's not her house. It's a rented ballroom, but the voice is pure ownership, pure stage mic. People freeze in a halo around the wreck. Theo's 6. I said he didn't. $2, 400, Jules spits. "You're paying tonight." My nephew, her future stepson, claps. He thinks it's a show. The DJ kills the music like he unplugged the moon. Mom's face shifts to something sharp. She looks at my son like he's a stain. "You're not really ours," she says, loud, cruel, like a line she's been waiting to say. "Ask your father about." Enough. I cut in. My voice is flat. "We're done here." I pick up my kid. I put the Hot Wheels in his hand. We leave. 3 hours later, after I've made cocoa, after I've scrubbed frosting out of shoelaces, there's a knock like a decision. 2 officers in the hallway. The older one checks his notepad, looks up at me, and says the sentence that flips my stomach. "Mr. Halpern, we're not here for you." He gestures down the stairs. "We're here for your father." And it turns out the cake was just the lid blowing off a pot that's been boiling under my name for years. It starts way before the cake. It starts with me being the ride. Childhood logistics manager. I'm 13, holding Mom's Nokia while she says, "Tell the doctor we can't make Tuesday. Tell him we're cash pay. Tell him to be generous. Use your polite voice." I do. I always do. Jules was the sparkler kid. Big gestures, big smiles, big bills. When Dad got laid off the first time, I took a Saturday shift at the gas station and loaned it straight to the mortgage. When Jules wanted an out-of-state college, I kept my local offer so I could work nights and help at home. When Mom said, "You're the reliable one," I heard, "You're the one we can lean on until you crack." I became a dispatcher because chaos makes sense to me. Phones, screens, ETA math. Somebody's crying because their driver no-showed the dialysis run. I fix it. Someone stranded at 2:10 a.m. on the wrong side of the river. I fix it. It pays steady. The benefits are decent, and I can do school drop-off if I nap in weird slices. It's not glamorous. It is useful. I like useful. Theo arrived, and the world went quiet in a good way. His mom and I, we didn't work out. No drama, just two tired people who couldn't stretch the same blanket. We co-parent. We share calendars. We send too many photos of the same drawing. I keep my apartment simple: a couch that isn't sagging, a rug that can forgive juice, a bookshelf with toy baskets on the bottom 2 rows and grown-up paperbacks above. I cook spaghetti every Wednesday because he calls it long noodles. Life was small and ours. Family tried to rent space in it anyway. Josen, can you comp a ride for girls' night? Jules texted when she found out where I worked. We don't comp. Not my call. You're so stingy. Is it the divorce? Single, not bitter. Still not my call. She told Mom I was hoarding perks. Mom called me selfish. Dad called me short-sighted. I ignored it. Then the favors changed shape. Buddy, can you help me get a business account? Dad asked. Your company probably has small business rates. We could set one up for the family, separate from personal, strictly for medical rides, church, you know. I said we don't do family accounts. He said I was being dramatic. A month later, a notice shows up at my place because my mailing address is still the one Dad uses for form stuff. About a corporate account activation I never requested. I call the number on the letter. The rep reads back the contact. My first name, Dad's cell, Dad's email, my address. We'll flag it, she says. We'll require a notarized document for changes. I breathe again. I shouldn't have. Cash leaks are quiet. 20 here, 40 there. We'll pay you Friday. We're good for it. I kept a spreadsheet because that's what dispatchers do. Totals creep. $1,280 balance on Mom's dentist. $760 on Jules's emergency dog surgery. The dog recovered in 4 hours and ate a sock. $450 for Dad's temporary tire replacement that turned into custom rims. I stopped writing loan and started writing gift because the word hurts less if I make it my idea. Then came the engagement circus. Jules met Mark and they sprinted. Venue booked in 8 weeks. Pinterest boards like battle maps. Josen will coordinate shuttles, she announced in the group chat, tagging me like an employee. We're not paying because he has connections. I don't. I have a job. Mom chimed in. Josen, it would be so lovely if you contributed. You don't have a wife. Your expenses are minimal. I stared at that text a long time. Translation: you don't have a family that counts. Theo is invisible to them when money is on the table. I typed and erased. Typed and erased. Dad called. It's time you stepped up for your sister. We carried you for years. He meant the 2 months after Theo was born when they let me sleep on their couch while my lease switched. He meant the box of hand-me-down pans Mom gave me with a joke about me burning water. He did not mean cash, because I never took cash I didn't earn. Here's what I can do, I said. 1 shuttle bus at cost. I'll put you directly in touch with the vendor. You pay them. No middleman. Silence. Then the sigh. You always make things complicated, Dad said. Just run it through your work. I won't risk my job. Mom texted separately. Your sister is embarrassed. Mark's family thinks we're poor. I didn't answer. I had to start my shift. People needed rides more than my family needed a stage. The week of the party, the tone shifted from guilt to teeth. Final head count 180. Cake is $2,400. You'll transfer half. Me. No. Josen, you owe me from college. Me. For the laptop I bought you. That was a gift. Mom, we raised you. This is a family event. Everyone contributes. Me, I keep receipts. Dad, don't be petty. The day of, they were already primed to snap. I felt it the second we walked in. The way Jules checked the cake before she hugged me. The way Mom's eyes scanned Theo like a risk factor. The way Dad's handshake had a price tag. When the cake fell, it wasn't about sugar. It was a trigger for a debt they'd already written in their heads. And Mom's line, "You're not really ours," was meant to land like a knife and keep me too busy bleeding to ask questions about anything else. We left. I buckled my kid in. I drove home on muscle memory and adrenaline, light smearing into one long ribbon. I put a cartoon on low volume, put cocoa in a mug, and stared at my phone. Group chat pinged like hail. "Jules, you're transferring $2,400 by midnight or I'm calling the police. Mom, and make it $3,000 for emotional damages. Dad, you brought chaos into our family. Fix it. Me, stop texting. I'll talk tomorrow. Mom, oh, you'll talk tonight. Jules, TikTok." At 11:56 p.m., I blocked the chat. At 12:21 a.m., the knock came. The older officer had soft eyes. The younger one had a jaw like granite. "We're here regarding an identity theft report. Multiple vendors, a bakery, a shuttle company, 2 ride accounts, and a credit card application in your name. Your father is downstairs." "My father is here," I said. Not a question, but somehow it was. I looked down the hall. The elevator dinged. Dad stepped out like he was arriving at a luncheon, no jacket, wedding tie still on. He tried to shoulder past the officers. "Josen, this is ridiculous," he said, already impatient. "Tell them we're family. Tell them you authorized me." "For what?" My voice surprised me. It was calm. Dispatcher calm. The voice I use when 3 calls are screaming at once. "For the shuttle," Dad said. "For the cake payment when your card didn't go through for the corporate account. They're making a big deal out of nothing. Your sister's upset. Your mother is." The younger officer cut in. "Sir, please step back. We're taking statements." The bakery owner filed a report tonight after discovering a series of chargebacks connected to an account opened in your name 3 months ago. Same address as yours. Same phone as your father's. Same email with a period moved. He showed me the printout. My name, my address, Dad's number. I could feel each puzzle piece from the last year clicking into place. The letter about the corporate account. The notice about a card I never applied for. The weird call from a shuttle company asking about adjusted contract rates. "You used my name," I said to Dad. "You signed things." "It's a family account," he said like I was dense. "You never would have done it. Somebody had to. Mark's family would have thought we were cheap. I was protecting your sister," he added, "by committing fraud. With my credit. With my address. While texting me about how I should contribute more." He rolled his eyes. "Fraud is a big word." The older officer cleared his throat. "Mr. Halpern, your father is being detained on suspicion of identity theft and credit fraud pending investigation. We need to collect your statement and provide you with the case number to begin freezing and disputing the accounts." Theo padded out in sock feet, hair rumpled. He saw uniforms and pressed into my leg. I crouched. "Hey, buddy. It's okay. We're safe." Dad leaned to look past me. "Hi, champ," he said, too loud, too cheerful. "Grandpa just came to sort out." "You're done," I said. Simple. No theater, no scream. You don't speak to him. You don't step inside my home again. Mom's call came through right then. I hit speaker because I wanted the officers to hear this part. "Josen." Her voice clipped. "They said police were there. Did you call them? You're going to ruin your sister's night. You think we won't survive without you? We will. We've always." Dad opened accounts in my name. The police are here because of his choices. She didn't miss a beat. You told them to dig, didn't you? You've always been vindictive. And that boy, her voice sharpened, he isn't even. I hung up. I gave the officers everything. Names, dates, screenshots, the spreadsheet, the old email from a rep who flagged something and then apparently unflagged it, the stupid text where I offered to set up a direct vendor payment and they punished me for not handing over my login. The younger officer nodded like I just delivered coordinates. The older one said, "You're doing the right thing, sir," and slid a card across the counter. "Call this number first thing. Freeze what you can tonight. We'll escort your father out now. Do you want us to issue a trespass notice for this address? I looked at Dad for once. He looked small. Not sorry. Small. Yes, I said. Issue it. The younger officer put a hand on Dad's elbow. Dad jerked away. You're really going to do this, he said to me. Over a cake. No, I said. Over a year. The elevator doors opened. They stepped in. The doors closed. I locked my door. I exhaled a breath I felt like I'd been holding since I was 13 with Mom's Nokia in my hand. The night split into tasks: freeze, dispute, document. I texted Theo's mom, short and factual. Cops came. Dad used my name. We're safe. I'll explain in the morning. She replied in less than a minute. I'm up. If you want me to come over, I will. I told her not to wake anyone. We were okay. Theo fell asleep on the couch halfway through an episode about a cartoon firefighter. I let him. I needed him close. I opened my bank app. My heart did a double hit. There they were, small charges I'd missed when life was loud. Multiple $149.99 to the shuttle company. A $142 charge coded catering. $39.99 to an email I didn't know. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. I closed the debit card. I filed the dispute. I requested a new number. I emailed the shuttle company. Do not allow changes on any account with my name. Require live verification. My father is not authorized. I used dispatcher language, specific, unemotional. It felt like armor. At 3:18 a.m., Jules called from an unknown number. I answered because some bridges need to burn with witnesses. You had Dad arrested, she said, dead flat. Dad had Dad arrested, I said. Actions are loud. You think you're noble? You embarrassed me in front of everyone. Mark's family is livid. The cake was. The cake is sugar, I said. Theo is a person, and you tried to extort me after your fiancé's stepson laughed at a dessert. She didn't check her thread. She was too busy sprinting past details to stay upright. Mom said you hung up on her. She was going to tell you something important about. I said soft, because I'm tired of sharp. If anyone says one more word about my son's DNA, we're done for life. Silence. Then that scoff she learned from Mom. You're so dramatic. Click. At 7:06 a.m., Dad texted from a strange number. Call me. We can fix this if you tell them I had permission. I blocked it. At 8:11, Mom, I hope you're happy. Your sister is sick with worry. At 8:12, the group thread resurrected from the dead by someone unblocking me. Josen will fix this. He has a job with phones. I let it sit. I waited for office hours and called the detective. He was methodical. He walked me through a fraud affidavit. He suggested a credit freeze. He gave me a link for small claims documentation because some vendors might try to come for me even with a police report if they're sloppy. He told me, this is common. People trust the wrong people with the right details. He didn't say family, but we both heard it. By noon, the vendor receipts were in my inbox. The note on the shuttle invoice made my stomach turn, adjusted rate authorized by JH per family discount. They had recorded a call. The voice saying my initials was my father's. He has my cadence when he wants something. He taught it to me. I sent the detective the file. He replied with a single line, thank you. This helps. Then came the social aftershock. People pick sides in private, but they audition for them in public. Aunt Bev texted, proud of you for setting boundaries. Cousin Matt wrote, tough situation. Family is complicated. Code for I don't want to pick. My uncle liked an old photo of Theo on Facebook and wrote, handsome fella, which is nice and also nothing. Jules posted a cryptic story, black screen, white text, betrayal hits hardest when you hold the knife for someone, and 3 broken heart emojis. Her friends commented, say the word, and you deserve better. One of Mark's cousins posted a photo of the destroyed cake with a crying laughing emoji. The comment section tried to out-moralize itself. Tragedy versus humor versus who cares, it's cake. I logged off. I made long noodles. Theo asked if the cops were superheroes. I said they were helpers tonight. He nodded like that was enough and asked if the noodles could have peas. They could. That evening, HR at my company called. We received a request months ago to migrate a corporate account under your name, the rep said carefully. We flagged it because of your email to us. It was later unflagged by someone who said they were you and provided your employee ID. How did they get my ID? I asked, though I knew. I keep it in my wallet. I leave my wallet in my parents' kitchen when Mom asks me to reach the top shelf. I take it out at the gas station when Dad says, I forgot mine in my other jacket. Just spot me. I'll Venmo. I'm sorry this happened, the rep said. We've locked everything. You're clear. I scheduled an appointment at a legal aid clinic because I don't have money for a private attorney yet, and I don't want to be generous with mistakes anymore. The intake volunteer was calm. She said words like paper trail, protective order, and scope. She asked if I wanted to pursue charges or just cooperate with the investigation. I said cooperate. I'm tired of holding the steering wheel for everybody. At bedtime, Theo asked if we could sleep in a fort. We made one with a sheet and 2 dining chairs. He fell asleep in 8 minutes, the small sigh he inherited from me floating up like proof. 2 days later, the detective called. We arrested your father on formal charges, he said. Vendors corroborated. There's a pattern. The DA will decide next steps. You'll get a subpoena for paperwork only. You won't have to testify unless they push for trial. I sat at the kitchen table and watched my coffee go cold. I didn't feel triumph. I felt empty and sturdy, like a road after a snowplow. That night, a message popped up from a number I didn't know. Mark, my sister's fiancé. Hey, it read. My family is a lot. Your family is a lot. I didn't sign up for scams. I'm postponing. I stared. I replied, good luck. He wrote again, for what it's worth, your kid didn't knock the cake alone. My stepson tripped him. He told me he's scared of your mom. Sorry. I typed a thank you and deleted it because I don't owe gratitude for truth that should have been obvious. The next morning, Mom showed up at my building and pounded the door like we were a game show prize she could still win. I didn't open. She texted, open the door or I'll make this official and involve building management. 10 seconds later, kidding, but open. I saved the texts. I sent them to the detective. He replied, documented. I wrote one last message to the family thread, short, clear. Here's what changes. 1. Do not use my name, ID, or address for anything. 2. Do not contact me except via email for legal or medical emergencies regarding Granddad. 3. If you speak about my son's paternity again, you will hear from a lawyer. 4. The balance sheet is closed. I muted the thread. I took my kid to the park. I sat on a bench that needed paint and learned how to make a paper airplane that turns left. People think the break is the hard part. It is, and it isn't. The hard part is waking up every day and choosing your own voice when your old one still tries to translate everything into keep the peace. I spent a week doing boring heroic things, pulling my credit report, freezing it, unfreezing it for exactly 90 minutes to open a new bank account somewhere my father can't charm a teller, rerouting mail, changing the spare key code, switching from the family plan to my own phone plan, and eating the fee because freedom costs what it costs. I took Theo for pancakes. He likes the tiny baseball bat stir sticks they give you for coffee. He collected 5 like trophies. He told the server, my dad works at night to help other dads get home. I swallowed hard and tipped big. I talked to my boss. I told him the truth without the family soap opera parts. Someone used my ID. It's fixed. It won't touch my work. He said, I know. You're the one we call when midnight looks like a mess. He asked if I want a day shift now that Theo is starting first grade. I said, yes. My body said thank you. A week after the party, a DNA kit arrived in the mail, no return address. Jules's sense of humor or my mother's idea of punishment. I held it over the trash and then stopped. That kit wasn't for them. It was for the ugly whisper they planted. I didn't owe a spit to anybody, but I owed quiet to my son. We did it together at the kitchen table because everything we do like that. He asked if it was a science experiment. I said yes. We mailed it. We ate grapes. We built a Lego taxi. 2 weeks later, an email, no surprises. 99.99% me. I didn't cheer. I didn't cry. I took a long breath that felt like permission. Mom tried 2 more times to bait me, once with a quote card about forgiveness, once with a photo of me at 5 in a costume I hated. I archived both. Dad's court date landed on a Thursday. I didn't go. I sent the requested documents with clean margins and no commentary. The detectives sent a final note. Restitution likely. We'll be in touch. Jules posted a photo of a new cake with a caption about resilience. Comments flooded with queen emojis. I looked for Mark, no sign. I looked for my nephew, there he was, small, clapping again. I hope he finds a grown-up who doesn't make him clap on command. Last night, Theo and I walked past a bakery on our way home. He pressed his face to the glass. That one's taller than me, he said, eyes wide. The baker saw and came outside with a paper bag and 2 free cookies. For the little guy, she said, and for the dispatcher who got my driver home in a storm last winter. I blinked. You remember that? People remember feeling safe, she said. Take the cookies. We split one on the curb and watched a taxi glide by, lights like quiet robots doing their best. Theo leaned against me. Are we a family? He asked, not scared, just curious in the way kids test words for shape. We are, I said. Always. Even if Grandma is mad. Especially then. He thought about it, nodded like I told him a secret, and handed me the bigger half of the cookie. We ate. It was sweet without being too much. Here's the moral my mother will never post. I am not your wallet. I am not your ride. I am not your spare name to sign when you want something. I am a dad who dispatches taxis and boundaries with the same calm voice. You can scream, "Get out of my house," in a rented ballroom all you want. I will choose the house I pay for, the child I love, the life I built. If this story hit you, drop your city in the comments so I know I'm not the only one who finally chose peace over performance. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.